Hello and welcome to what can only be described as the autopsy of Doctor Who's 60th special. With me, your ever enthusiastic host, and Keith, my over opinionated co host.
He loved it, you can tell.
Just if I strip out all the stuff I don't like, if I strip it out, it's still a 5, maybe a 6 at a push out of 10.
Oh, Biff. Hello, Biff, by the way. Don't get me started. Don't get me bloody started, but we will cover it. We will cover it. But it's so goddamn bad and clunky, all that stuff, that it's almost funny. It's so bad. It's so terribly written and so bad that it is almost funny. There were moments when I laughed and then sort of went, ugh. Like the bit where she fucking corrected the pronouns of the Doctor, and then the alien went, my preferred pronoun is, it's like,
oh, for fuck off.
I started laughing at that because I thought, yes, because an alien gives a shit about this kind of stuff. No, Russell, it's only you. Nobody give cough. There's so many conflicting emotions, right? First off, it was kind of like a mediocre middle of the season episode, right? Take away all the other shit. It was not even an original idea. It was borrowed from a Doctor Who comic from the 70s, right? The only original stuff was the really shit, clunky crap that was shoehorned in there. The amount of positive affirmation that was required.
Right. Just I just want to put my biggest fucking complaint was, where the fuck was Wilf?
Yeah, because he was meant
That's
to be
the bit I wanted right at the end. You'd have just seen Wilf. I'd have gone, all's forgiven. But no, he couldn't He couldn't even do that.
When he was in the reading, I thought he'd filmed scenes and was meant to be in this. So then maybe they're holding him to the third one. I genuinely, or the end of the second one. But this was meant to be a celebration of Doctor Who. This was meant to be the 60th anniversary. And they've done 3 individual stories for a starter, which is fucking stupid, right? This is where you do a 3-parter, right? They didn't really touch at all on why are you back as they, as so I know that whatever we're going to get as the explanation for that is going to be shit. But it's the positive affirmation. It's the language that they kept using. Oh, your beautiful daughter. Oh, your wonderful daughter. Oh, your amazing daughter. It's like, I've been saying this for years, right? The way you do this is by not drawing attention to it. The way you normalize this is by just saying your daughter. You don't do anything else. You don't use language that you wouldn't naturally use, right? You normalize it, right? The only genuine thing, right, that was marginally genuine in all of that was the only genuine thing was
Sorry.
Pew me if I give away 160 million pounds. It was 166 million to be precise, but anyway, the only natural thing, the only thing that felt natural about the whole freaking trans thing in this was Donna's mum's little speech in the kitchen.
Oh,
where that felt real. It was the only thing. It was like every time, oh, your wonderful daughter, oh, your amazing daughter, oh, positive, positive, positive. It's like, fuck, seriously, Russell, have you fucking lost your ability to write? I mean, seriously, or do you now
Yes,
believe in
yes,
the
yes,
message
yes.
so
He has.
badly that you will shoehorn this bullshit in there because it didn't feel natural at all? And here's the thing, right? If I'd heard her talking, I would have thought she was a woman. In all fact, well, she is. I mean, look, I don't have a problem that Donna's character, Donna's daughter, was a trans woman.
I,
No
I
problem with
do.
that.
I do because she's a child, and
Well, she
it's the
doesn't
same
look like a
category as
child.
fucking FGM. Sorry.
It doesn't look like a child, although I later found out that she was meant to be 15, and I'm like, there is two sides to this, right? But putting that debate aside, it was all the crap that was thrown in, and then it was the pronouns bit that just made me laugh out loud and then groan. I think Miriam Magdalene is often overrated these days, and I didn't particularly think her performance was all that amazing. I
Who's
thought
that?
that was the person that played the Meep, the voice of the Meep. That was, I mean, it was just a bit meh. I mean, this was a sick. Go on.
Is that the Rose actress or person couldn't act?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. It annoyed. I mean, and then I watched Doctor Who Unleashed or Doctor Who Confidential Mark 2. And it was kind of cool seeing that back, right? But then they had this whole fucking interview with her in the middle of it. I said, oh, you know, it's all about diversity. We need more diversity. No, we fucking don't. We are already seeing overrepresentation on the TV. There are stats to show this, right?
Yeah.
You represent less than 1% of the population. Less than 1%. And every time you bang on about diversity, you're insulting the people that created for Doctor Who. For fuck's sake, Doctor Who, the very first episode was diverse because the guy that fucking directed it was a gay Indian fella who's recently been freaking interviewed recently. I mean, for fuck's sake. This show has always been, and I hate this language, but I'm going to use it for the point, progressive.
No, hang on a second. Always. Put a chick in it, make it gay, make it lame.
Well, just make it lame. Just make it lame. I was worried about this the minute I saw that effing interview with Russell T Davies last week, and it just got worse. This wasn't a 60th. What? This was meant to be a 60th anniversary special. You've got. I mean, I liked the bit where I loved there were moments I really enjoyed. I liked the bit when Donna and the Doctor are in the ship, and genuine when the door closed down like that. I thought, oh, okay, you know, good nod to Wilf, good nod to how Tennant went out. That was quite a nice little Easter egg. And then he does the whole fucking Marvel-esque word thing, right, to unlock her. And the first fucking thing she says, I gave away my money. And it was so Donna. Brilliant.
Did you know she did a Peter Capaldiism?
Did she?
She did.
Wait.
She did the. No, Peter does this kind of. Yes. He does like a point and a slight thing. And she did Peter Capaldiism, which I think was supposed to be a nod to him, but I still.
That scene was great. That scene was great. That whole scene where she comes back was great. The whole anger that Tennant felt because she thought she was going to die. That whole sort of like few minutes in the ship was brilliant. And then you get the really stupid. And again, I laughed out loud because of how clunky it was. I mean, it wasn't clever. There was no cleverness in this, that the entire reason we put a trans girl in there was for a fucking plot point, right? Binary, non-binary. I just went there. I still fucking find that funny. It's so bad, it's funny.
Yeah.
But go on.
So this felt like Netflix Doctor Who. You know when
Yeah,
they have the Netflix adaptation of Doctor Who, and it's like it's not quite Doctor Who.
it's Disney Doctor
It
Who.
felt like that.
It's Disney Doctor Who. It's on fucking Disney Plus here. In fact, it has a great big Disney BBC logo on it, and it's all over Disney Plus. So it's Disney. It's Disney. And it's Disney through and through. And it's meant to have had a huge budget. I didn't see that at all. It felt like
It just felt
the
tidier. It didn't feel epicer, if that made any sense. It felt just
mm,
tidier. It felt like Jodie Whittaker's. It felt
it
like
felt it felt empty.
I don't. Did it feel empty? Not as bad as Jodie Whittaker's. Not as bad
The
as there's
bit
four
on
people in the universe.
the bit where the major battle's going on the street, and the only fucking person that's looking out the window is the kid, who was really annoying. It's just like can just send a fucking missile through his window. Um,
I did like the bit where he summoned them for the little trial, and they were very reasonable people. I thought that
yes,
was quite nice. Oh, okay, cool.
it was a good. That was a nice twist. Look, again, cutting out all the wokey shit. Right, this would have been a reasonable medium season episode of Tennant's era. Um, there were great, there were fantastic Donna moments, and I love Donna. Donna is my favorite companion, and I just loved when she fucking got her memory back, and the first thing she has is like thanks, or you think I gave away 166 million quid. That's what she's pissed about. She's about to die, and she's pissed that she gave away 166 million. Love it. I loved that bit. I genuinely did, and I like the new opening credits. I thought they were quite smart with the TARDIS bursting through freaking things. That was kind of cool. But again, the new TARDIS set. Well, what's your take on the new TARDIS set? I want your opinion before I.
You want my genuine opinion of the new TARDIS set, right? You're gonna probably go, right. So I hate it, but I
Yeah,
think it's
me too.
completely representative of Doctor Who. It's big, it's flashy, and it's fucking empty.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, that was a Russell T Davies thing. He liked the big sort of sets that were very empty, and that's what it is. Yeah, okay. I like the fact that it's white. That's the only thing I like about it. I don't like the big. But we Moffat's era was much better when it
Oh,
comes to TARDIS sets.
right. So the best TARDIS in New Who is Capaldi's TARDIS because it looks like he
Agreed.
lives in it.
Agreed.
It's got library shelves. He's got his guitar. It's got all these things all around it, so he can go and pick things up. And he looks like he lives in it because he does live in the freaking TARDIS. Yeah.
Mm. I didn't like it really all that. The only thing I liked the white. I mean the light shows kind of clever, and I can see them using that later on. And the other thing, right? And again, I want your opinion. New features of the sonic screwdriver.
Oh, that's gonna come back and fucking haunt people when it comes to episodes. Why doesn't he use the shield thing?
Why doesn't he use
Yeah,
the Iron Man style freaking screen?
yeah.
Um,
Talk about setting yourself up for failure down the line. Seriously. If he turned
I
around
hate.
and he pulled something out of his pocket and he goes, oh, I've got one of these, yeah, and then he goes, oh, hang on a second, I've got two of these, and then used two of them. It goes, unfortunately, they're the only ones I've got. That would be more acceptable. Everyone knows that doctors got massively deep pockets. Um,
I'm pretty damn sure that's some American Disney producer that's thrown that in there to say we needed something cool, futuristic to sell this, or at least that's what they think to sell to American audiences. And that's not a slight on you, America, because actually Doctor Who used to be really fucking popular during Moffat's and Matt Smith's era in America. It was huge. This didn't. I'm sorry. The drawing of the screen, the shield thing was ridiculous, but it was even the drawing of the screen when he met that unit bird that oh yeah, Ross.
uh,
Ross, you can put her in a wheelchair, can't you? Nothing wrong with
oh yeah,
that.
you can put her in a wheelchair. That's fine. It
Yeah.
was the bit when the
Put
soldiers went, look,
heroes.
we got to go up a flight of stairs, and she was like, it's fine. I actually like that bit. And she's like, no, you do what you got to do, guys. I understand. Don't worry. Yeah. And why has she got a regular wheelchair and not a fucking cool electric one?
Well, it did have a few sort of James Bond style
Yeah, I know,
gadgets,
but
which were kind of cool. But it's a contradiction to what he was saying the other week. Oh, we're going to take all the bad guys out of the fucking thing. We're just going to put heroes. Oh, fuck off, Russell. He sees it. He looks in the mirror every day, and he sees some kind of white knight now, doesn't he? You know, champion of the minorities, champion of the diverse, champion of all disabled people. Fuck off, you prick. Sorry, I never thought I'd say that about him because genuinely, when he was running Who the first time, I quite liked him. You know, I kind of got over the whole fact that every alien running around Cardiff was gay. I kind of got over that, but
right. So BBC, Disney have done what all Doctor Who's enemies couldn't do. They killed the Doctor, says Biffa. I think it's Russell T Davies. I don't think it's Disney. I just think Disney just handed him the money, and they were his enablers. They're the ones passing him drugs. It's just, it's like when you're just absolutely fucking baffled. You're absolutely baffled because my first thing is that episode for a 60th, if you versed the 50th, hell, even if you versed it to Nightmare in Silver, not Nightmare in Silver, Silver Nemesis with what's his name? That was still more. I don't get it.
yeah.
I don't get it. I really. I'm just.
This wasn't an anniversary episode. There was nothing special in it. There was no amazing moments. There was no. You've wasted an hour of a story, and it was a standalone story that you borrowed from a comic set in the 70s. And actually, on Confidential, when they interviewed the two guys, they were kind of a bit dickish. You have to watch Unleashed. They're calling it Unleashed now.
I'm going to be honest with you. I could barely watch the.
I was laughing. I mean, by the end of it, I was laughing it because it was so clunky. It was so. I've seen better writing in The Bold and the Freaking Beautiful than I have in this, and that's saying something. I mean, seriously, it was so bad by that point that it goes around to being funny. And yeah, okay, I groaned, but then I just started laughing. It was just like, Russell, are you seriously? You're getting paid for this? You're getting paid for some of this? I mean, as I said, the way you normalize this, and just one day Hollywood's going to learn. And the BBC and all these people that write, all these people that bang on and white knight about diversity and all this bullshit. At some point, they're going to realize the way you make people accept this and normalize it is not to shine a light on it. It's to make it normal. It's like, when we talked about that whole hoo-ha about Star Trek, I think it was the third one, wasn't it? Where there was this huge, massive thing about Sulu being gay, right? And you watch that Star Trek, and all it was a guy returning home, hugging his husband, picking up his daughter, and walking away. There was no big, look at how amazing we are. There was none of this positive affirmation. It was normalized. That is how you do this.
As Chuck is slightly behind in the times. Sorry, I just have to highlight that. It's the meat look good.
Yeah, okay. They spent some money there. I can understand where the budget went, but and look, there were moments when I saw Tennant and I was like, yeah, I love seeing him back, and there's no argument. He's straight back into that role. I mean, straight back into that role. And I love the bit when he first arrives, comes out, he's dancing around Camden, and he sees somebody struggling. Picks these two boxes, sees Donna, puts the two boxes back. Oi! That was brilliant. And it was like, "Hey, Rose, what?" That was great. But then you get this emasculated husband that again was never what Donna was like. You know, you understand why Donna didn't take the surname. Why did the daughter not take the surname? Donna would never have insisted on that. Donna just didn't want to be Temple Noble, and they made a whole joke about it at the end of when Thingy went out. And I get that, but the whole daughter not taking it, and then then that whole stupid thing where, oh, we're women, we know how to give things up. Oh, fuck off! When has a woman ever given up on the argument first? When?
Yeah.
Every married man knows this. We give up first because we want the quiet fucking life. If you're in a marriage, you bloody know this. The woman never gives up the high ground, ever.
I watched a great. I have sent a great Instagram reel, and it had the following. This guy sitting there drinking coffee next to his wife, and he's like, kind of, do you know why they evacuate women and children first? He goes, so men can have some quiet and think out how to fix the problem.
I'm joking. Yeah, Chuck. We're all in marriage, right? And I'm saying this. I'm saying this as a joke, though. But it was so. You have to watch it to understand, and it was just like this real sort of dig again. And it was Russell T Davies just giving it up. Yeah, see, you know what I mean. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, because most of the time my wife is right. And I'll never say that when she's listening. But, I mean, it was just, so, again, clunky and silly. And I want to say positive stuff about it, because there were some things that I liked. I liked the opening credits. I liked hearing the theme tune again. I liked seeing Donna again. I liked seeing Tennant again. In many ways, it felt far more like Doctor Who than the whole of the Cinnaball thing, and that's the truth. It did.
Chibnall, Cinnaball.
Well, Chinballs, Cinnaballs, whatever it is. I'm not going to give it. It felt much more Doctor Who like in that respect. But they've wasted an hour and nothing happened that warranted a 60th anniversary. It didn't embody the entire 60 years of the show. There was no history there. The 50th embodied the history of the show. And this didn't do it. There was like loads of little Easter eggs right from the offset of the 50th, the school, and the fact that, and you had all those little nods, and there was none of that here. I mean, this was a 60th anniversary special, and the only thing we've done is basically buff up Russell T Davies' finest moment in his opinion, because he thinks that Donna was and the Doctor was the best season of Who that he's ever written. He's been very clear about that, and that's why he's brought them back.
I told you at the end of this, you are going to beg for Moffat back. This was like a mid-season Capaldi episode, but it didn't have Capaldi in there, fucking chewing through fucking scenery.
I don't know, because it was a bit sillier than any of the Capaldi. Capaldi's sort
of. Oh,
that's
actually, hang on a second. That's one thing I really fucking hated about the Russell T Davies era, right? Where he put all the childish shite in there.
He said this wasn't going to be childish. That was kind of
bullshit.
Childish. The whole meep thing was a bit childish, and like hail to the meep every 5 seconds, and the way the unit soldiers were reacting was a bit. It was like people playing with their G.I. Joe, and then the way they were talking. I don't know. I'm gonna look. I have to watch the rest of it, because I'm hoping at least at some point we're either going to get some other Doctors or some stuff. Well, we know we're getting Bonnie Langford at some point, so when's that going to happen? We've got to get.
Hang on. Oh, hold on. Did you hear what the BBC said about the episode?
What?
They didn't like it. The actual BBC reviewed it poorly.
You're kidding me.
Let me find it. You carry on.
But I mean, they made this whole thing about Neil Patrick Harris. He's going to be in one episode by the looks of it. So you're going to bring back the toy maker, and you're going to do it in and out within an hour. That's what we're getting. 3 individual stories for the 60th. Not like one epic 3-hour-long tale, which would have been amazing. We're getting 3 1-hour things. The only thing that was good about this was that it aired in the UK at 6:30 on a Saturday, and he has confirmed that the Christmas special is on Christmas Day, which is where it freaking well belongs.
But
But go on, I haven't seen this.
hang on a
Hi
second, I need to
Steve, by the
find.
way.
I'm trying to find it. Oh man, hang on a second. Do you keep carry on? Carry on.
Oh, and I'll tell you the other thing, right? They interviewed the actress that played Tegan the other day, right? I saw her in one of the things. She's still thick.
Nicola Brandt.
She's gorgeous.
That's the one.
She's gorgeous.
Hang on, are you sure you're not confusing it with Nicola Brandt?
I'm talking. No, she's called Tegan, wasn't she? She was the one that was what's
Colin
his face?
Baker's.
Yeah, well, before that as well, because but she was Colin. You know, the American one that was actually English. She played an American.
That's Nicola Brandt, not Tegan.
All right.
Yes.
She's still.
God, I missed the
regeneration when he regenerates. She's hanging over him, that tied up. You're not watching him regenerate, trust me. You're not watching. And it wasn't. It was David Tennant's wife's father, that regeneration. So she started with Peter Davison, and it was Peter Davison's regeneration into Colin Baker. Trust me, you don't watch the regeneration. He's down here, but that's not where your highlights are. Believe me.
I'm trying to find this thing. I'm having trouble.
I did hear something today on one of the videos that about it. I just hadn't seen it. I think Gary alluded to it. But
yeah.
I'm annoyed by all the stuff. But there were moments that made me smile, which is more than anything that the Chimbal's era did. So it did, at least it did that, but it was nostalgia. It was member berries. It was Donna and thing. But genuinely, that 5 minutes inside the ship was good. It felt like proper decent Doctor Who. Trying to remember who the hot guy was on Doctor Who. Which one?
Yeah, it depends. And what time too?
It's been quite a few. I mean, a lot of people fancied Jack.
Yes, and he said he had some stories about things being sent to him that weren't.
Yes, he was often seen as eye candy. I want to say more nice stuff about it, but it's hard. I mean, the interesting thing is, if you're in the UK, they've now started calling it the Whoiverse or the Who-inverse or Who-inverse, something like
Hooniverse.
that.
Hooniverse? Universe.
Which, because one of the things that Russell T Davies wants to do is do spin-offs. And there is one thing that I am this much excited about, because they'll probably ruin it. But the one thing that I've always wanted to see, and 10 years ago, we got a tiny morsel of it that made me want more, was to actually see Paul McGann's Doctor in more than one episode and a bit. And I always thought that Paul McGann was a good Doctor, and that 10 minutes Night of the Doctor that we got on the 50th anniversary was just, again, brilliant. And there is a rumor that they're going to do a mini series or a limited series featuring Paul McGann. I'm there for it, but it's got to be good. And again, people are going, oh, it's going to be the Whoiverse, and obviously Disney Plus want this, and then it's just like, and I made a comment earlier on some page somewhere, and because people go, oh, it's going to be amazing, and I went, yeah, because it worked for Star Wars and Marvel. And they were like, oh yeah, come on. Tell me I'm wrong. I kind of want to see that. I kind of want to see that, though. I do. I've always wanted to see more Paul McGann as the Doctor. And the thing is, the bastard hasn't aged. So, I mean, he really hasn't. So, I mean, you look at him now. He was in something recently. And I'm looking at him, and then you go back and see him 10 years ago, and it's like, are they just locking him in some kind of freaking boxing and bringing him out? because the guy just doesn't look like he's aged. I mean, okay, he's got a bit around the eye since he played the Doctor 30 freaking years ago, nearly, right?
Mm. Yeah, right. So, what's the next episode?
Wild Blue Yonder, and this is the one that you do not see anything in the trailer other than Donna. The only thing that is in the trailer that we've been watching over the last year from this episode was Donna going, "Whatever this is, the TARDIS is so scared it ran away. Let's go kick its ass." Right? That's the only thing that they've released, and this mini bit of the trailer today. This is the one where we might get the surprises. I don't know. It's called The World Blue Yonder, and we know bugger all about it. Other than the fact that Donna spilt some coffee on the TARDIS and the TARDIS went batshit crazy, which again I kind of liked. That's how I lost my job. And I think when she's mother, it's like, I lost my job. It wasn't my fault. And the mother just looked away. It was my fault. Again, brilliant. And Donna's mum was fantastic. The bit where she runs up to the doctor and she's panicking and then she smacks him like that.
I like that. I did like that because it was like, oh great, and then she's sitting there goes, you haven't seen him? Don't look at the alien. Alien?
There's no such thing.
And then it's like they're talking, and then the bit where they had the little almost sad bit where they're talking about Wilf.
Yeah.
And I like, that's the bit I really wanted to see was Bernard Cribbins as Wilf.
I think we will get it. If they have cut him out, that will be sacrilege. Even if we just get a moment, we have to have a bit of Bernard in there. We have to. You have to do that. And if they cut it out, I'll be very upset. But he was at the reading, and he's shown at the reading. So either he was intended to be in this episode, and they've cut that down because they couldn't film everything for it. But he has to have a moment at some point. Now, the episode left off with them supposedly going to visit Wilf. So I'm assuming that whatever happens in this episode, the Doctor fixes it.
They're still not going to see Wilf. It'll be the last episode they see him. They'll literally close out on it.
But again, why didn't we get all 3 episodes in the week? It's like I saw some of the celebration. It didn't feel like the 50th. There was no surprises. There was no little clips like Night of the Doctor that Moffat did. There was none of that. And there was no build up to this.
I told you, when this is all said and done, you're going to sit there and go, you know what? Stephen Moffat was a lot fucking better. That's what you're going to be saying. You will. Because even when he said that he admitted that he had to put stuff in. I was there when he admitted it. And Capaldi was fucked off too. So
I do feel there were moments that were shoehorned in here, and I don't get where. Look, you can say what you like about Russell T Davis, 15 years ago, and he did he did put a lot of sort of gay stuff into, but it was well written. It was well written, and and one of your favorite episodes is still an episode written by Russell T Davis.
Not the best. It's not the best, and all the best ones. Your favorites. Moffat, so.
Yeah, but one of your favorites is his. It was the one when they were on
Midnight,
and it was one of my mum's because Mum thought it was so clever. And actually, as psychology thing, it was very clever. What happened to the man that could write something of that quality? To go from that to having an alien talking about his preferred pronoun.
Right. So no, forget. You know what? Just forget the pronoun things and just look at it as a story. Yeah. It's still lacking.
It wasn't his story. It wasn't his story. He stole it from a 1970s bloody.
Yeah,
that's why when you look at the writing credits, it's not just him.
But it's like the Family of Blood. Remember the Family of Blood episode?
Yes.
That's taken from a book, yeah, and
yes.
I think it was written by, and that was still changed and suited better than it was.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm just thanks, guys. Appreciate it, guys. Cheers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Um. Wait for Napoleon to hit streaming on the Jan the 6th. I also survived Wish the movie.
why did
Um.
you watch Wish the movie?
I know
What's
nothing
wrong with
about this.
you? This
I
is
know nothing.
this is Disney's attempt to create an interconnected universe through this one movie, and they fuck it up royally.
Oh,
Nobody
what?
cares.
Disney have another flop on their hands? Such shock.
Right, Disney lost the ability to make movies because the message is more important than the entertainment.
And they're still doing it because guess what?
Wow.
Guess what the news is this week? The Silver Surfer is going to be a girl.
It's not going to be Norrin Rad. It's going to be the other one. I know because there is a Herald of Galactus that is a girl, which is fine. And yes, you can use her, but the Silver Surfer is Norrin
I
Rad, and
again,
he's.
I agree with everything you just said, except this is the MCU, so you know it's not going to be good.
Have they not figured this? Have they not figured this shit out yet? It's fucking
Clearly,
obvious.
clearly, well, yes and no, because they're dumping the whole of that What's Its Face series on Hulu instead of Disney Plus. What was it? The blind girl thing.
The blind
So
girl, deaf girl.
deaf girl, whatever she is. I really genuinely don't care. Um, they're dumping that all on Hulu, so maybe, and they know, and Marvel know. I mean, the Marvels is it's been such a bomb; it's unbelievable. I mean, it's done worse than anybody has even predicted.
I can't soft boycott Disney. Have you met my wife? Have you met my
But it's
wife?
different. But it's different. You are celebrating what was Disney. You go to the parks, which is a celebration of what they were. Let's face it, most of the stuff at the parks is what Disney once was. Okay, you've got the Star Wars thing, but again, you go there once, you probably don't go back again because it's crap.
Because the fucking Rise of the Resistance always breaks down.
Well, there's that as well.
It's so. Hang on a second. Just talking about that Rise of the Resistance is the perfect way of describing Disney thing because it's really well produced, but substance wise, not much substance in there, and it keeps breaking down, and people lose so much time with it, and it puts them off. I just
The company, honestly, I think next year, they have got to fire their entire management, or within the next 3 to 4 years, you're going to see the park sold off or segregated out into
right.
another company
So
because they are in that much trouble.
I know. And it's
I mean,
weird to think that they are now sole benefactors of Doctor Who internationally.
there's no way they've made money this year. There is no way they have made money this year. You can fudge the books all you like. They have not had a hit movie this year. I mean, the Marvels cost more to make and advertise than it has brought into the cinemas. You can't continue to do that. Indiana Jones, another huge tentpole movie that he spent a lot of money on, flopped. How can you? It's not sustainable.
I'm just pointing out, Biffa. If that's true, that'd probably been the only bit of the Marvels I might have liked. um, it's
It's not sustainable. Currently, what is going on with Disney is not sustainable, unless they somehow are doing something nefarious. I can't see how this can be making money. We know the park visitation at the parks is down. I mean, the parks are still profitable, but they are down. But they can't be bankrolling the whole of the business. They just can't.
the worst thing is they are so inefficient at the parks. It's annoying. So there's a one called the Tron roller coaster. We've been there. We would have been there 3 times, and they haven't put it up. Where Universal, they put the Hagrid's coaster up. They put the Velocicoaster up, and I think they'll have some other stuff there too.
I mean, Laurie says she likes her triangle. I'd love to go to Disneyland. I would. This isn't me I mean, I'm a bit like I love Disney. I do. I love all the old Disney movies. I got lots of them. And there's a lot of Disney stuff that I love, but current 21st century Disney has been shockingly bad, and the company's in trouble. They can't make a hit movie. It's impossible, and that has to be on the plate of the management.
I,
You've got to fire these and get them to start hiring people that don't just want to write the message.
right. Can we just pop back to Doctor Who because there was something massively fucking egregious which they did recently, and I mean massively egregious. So during the 50th anniversary, you had Adventures in Space and Time, which was the story of the first Doctor, William Hartnell, who is the first Doctor, played by Filch from Harry Potter, who's a trained Shakespearean actor, and he's got some real chops on him when it comes to acting. But he played the caretaker in Harry Potter, and that's what he's going to get known for, which is sad. They cut out Matt Smith at the end.
You say that. You say he'll be remembered for that. Actually, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, he'll be remembered for the Red Wedding.
How many? Right, hang on a second. Harry Potter fans versus Game of Thrones fans. How many?
Yeah,
Harry Potter wins. Sorry.
that's true. It's
Yeah.
true. But a lot of people remember him for that as well. But
Oh, they remember him for that, but they won't remember him for his portrayal of bloody King Lear or anything like that, which he probably did a really good job at. Just.
So Gareth, right? Because Gareth is incensed, a bit like I was with Russell T Day. They basically did a BBC drama written by Mark Gatiss, who wrote for the Moffat era of Who, and was in the last Peter Capaldi episode as the sergeant. He also wrote Sherlock. Anyway, good thing. And he wrote the how Doctor Who came to be. And there was a brilliant drama. And in fact, the guy that played William Hartnell, who Gareth is talking about, was so bloody good in this. They actually brought him in to play the first Doctor in Capaldi's last episode, and again, he was brilliant in that. And at the end of the episode, it shows how he was largely kicked out and replaced, but there is a moment where he's told that Doctor Who will go on, and he looks up, and standing next to him is Matt Smith as the Matt Smith Doctor in the 50th. They reshot this and showed it again this year, and they had to cut certain scenes out, mostly with the Daleks, because of rights. It's also, the BBC has recently got all of the Doctor episodes except the first 4 episodes of Hartnell's thing because of rights. It's all weird. But anyway, they reshot this. It's 10 minutes shorter than it was. And they've replaced Matt Smith with Ncuti Gatwa. And you think this is egregious?
Oh, I think it's.
I think it's an insult to Matt Smith. I do.
I think it's an insult to Ncuti Gatwa too. I'm sorry, we couldn't be bothered to film a 60th spin-off about the history of Doctor Who. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut and paste you into the one that Matt Smith was in on the 50th. It's easy.
The thing is, right? There is the thing. I think the thing that I'm so bothered by is actually I was half looking forward to seeing Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor. I really was, because I thought, I like him. I don't know why. I like him. I liked him as Eric. He annoyed me at times in Sex Education, but I liked him, and he was so. On paper, and people who watch this show, I should have despised him, but I actually genuinely liked the character of Eric, and I liked the actor, and I was kind of half looking forward to him being the Doctor. And it's not him that's going to be the problem in Doctor Who. It's not. It is Russell's clunky, and to be quite honest, subpar writing. I mean, if you're going to include this stuff, at least write it well. Right,
desperately trying.
An alien going, my chosen pronoun. Couldn't you? There were so many ways you could have written that, right? There were so many ways you could have written that, but we went for the bulk standard cliche. My chosen pronoun is. My niece could have written that.
I'm I'm trying to find the thing. I can see I've got an image of it, and it looks fucking terrible. It looks so fucking terrible. It does. I can't log into
Yeah,
Twitter, which is not a bad thing because I'm
I,
not a big Twitter user, but it's on Twitter, and I'm so I'm just like kind of do you not see? Can you not look past the fucking tip of your goddamn nose?
no. He's the answer. How to Be Stupid James said that GOT Game of Thrones was amazing. It was up until season 7. Well, 6. 7 was okay, but you can't seriously tell me that season 8 was any good because you know. Um, but Gareth here is not a fan. I enjoyed it, although I think all the best minutes, and this is going to kill you now. If you go back and watch it, all the best moments happen in the last 5 minutes of an episode. And that is every episode of Game of Thrones. The best moment, last 5 minutes of the episode. I have to admit, I'm looking forward to the second season of House of Dragon. I quite enjoyed the Game of Thrones is good until season 7, and then season 8 is an absolute freaking travesty. But House of Dragon genuinely good. Matt Smith, fucking amazing in that. Really enjoyed that. I do think we are going to get a Matt Smith moment. I do think we're going to see him in the 60th somehow. And if we don't, it's a travesty. But I'm pretty bloody sure we're going to get them, even if it's and it's going to be a new scene.
Right,
What are you laughing at?
I'm sorry, I found the clips. I'm going to show you the clips because they are fucking egregious on two levels. I'm, I just, when you sit there and you have to deal with people, incompetent people, especially like when working with them. Yeah. And it's like, okay, fair enough. They do have other qualities. Yeah. They are good at X or Y, but maybe they're just shit at this. So right. So I'm going to show you. Let me just get this sorted so I can share this properly because I have to share two shares here. So
while you're doing that, it's supposedly still on the cards. In fact, there was something announced not that long ago.
Okay, all right. So let me show the original. So let's put you on screen and put us like that. So this is the original. This is the original ending of it.
When you watch Hartnell, he embodies Hartnell.
Oh, this is the thing is it got to this is the bit where they've from a storyline perspective. I don't know if it's autobiographical, but this is the bit where William Hartnell is leaving Doctor Who, yeah, but he doesn't really want to leave. He plays his curmudgeon, but when you see him interact with children and stuff like this, yeah. So this is what the original 50th ending looked like, yeah. Oh shit! No, I pressed the wrong button. Look how crap that looks.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna hide the screen and show the other one. I'm incensed. I'm actually genuinely incensed. Let me reload it. So let me try this again. So here we go. So this is what the original ending looked like, yeah? You had Matt Smith there, yeah? Just that nice simple little smile. He smiles back at him. Yeah, that's lovely. But Shooty Gatworth one is fucking... Right, hang on a second. So I'm going to kill this one because it just makes it easier. So... And we've got this version, yeah? And just look at the difference in acting. It was Matt Smith, really subtle. Looks at him, says, I'm proud to be part of this, and you've got a legacy going forward, and I don't know what to say. I'm quite speechless. Looks down, da da da. Lots said with nothing actually said, yeah? Okay, we've got Shooty Gatwa, which is the bit. This is the bit I'm going to turn the sound off. You got him, yeah? Gives me a little smile. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, fair enough. Looks back at him. Yeah. What the fuck was that? Why didn't he just give him the finger guns?
I don't know. I think that's going to be part of his character. Come on, he is a flirt,
No,
and that's why he's been cast.
No.
I
It's supposed to be
think
subtle and emotional, and it detracts.
no.
I'm
I,
sorry, it's an insult to him
I,
as a person because that's my
I tell
first
you what.
introduction to him, and he's
I
shit. Well
tell I
done.
tell you what. After
Sorry.
season 8, after the season 1, because they're now calling it, but after his season airs, I wonder if you still react the same way. If you do, I will say fair play to you. I understand it, but I'm just not sure that isn't part of who he is meant to be in his character because Eric would have winked at him.
Yeah, but Eric is
So
Eric, not the fucking
no, I
doctor.
know, but that's what I'm saying, and I think that's what. Yeah, but I think that's what we're basically going to see. Eric as the Doctor. That's what I think we're going to see. But
Oh
let's
fuck
just.
me!
No,
Shoot me now, please.
I,
Get me the gun. Shoot me.
I, I. But there are moments where I think he can do well. But again, I might be wrong. First
Blow
time
my
ever.
brains out.
Gareth is
I'll blow
broken.
my bloody brains out.
Gareth, blow your brains out in January. We've got slow horses. We've got
Oh yeah,
season
got
three.
slow
We've
horses.
got season 3 of Slow Horses starting on Wednesday. So,
It's do you know what's
and
really it's just
oh, did you have you watched Monarch yet?
no. I haven't got Apple back yet. I'm waiting for slow
Episode
horses. The day
3
slow
was
horses comes
actually
back, I get Apple back.
episode 3 was quite good. They cleverly, right. You remember when you remember the first sort of MonsterVerse, Bryan Cranston Godzilla movie, where you saw that black and white footage of him swimming through the sea, right? They linked that in the TV series. They showed it being filmed, right? And it was filmed at Bikini Atoll, which was one of the nuke. They nuke Godzilla. They nuke him, and it's really bad because he comes out of the water and goes, "Oh, what's this?" And you're like, "Oh," he's like, "What is that?" And he's like, "Oh, poor old Godzilla." And then they nuke him. You're like, "Fuck," um, and they properly nuke him. So I don't know how he survived that, but episode 3, you see, I heard like Gary sort of said, "Oh, Monarch's going to be really shit." It's not shit. It's kind of quite good. I'm kind of quite enjoying Monarch.
Have you seen Godzilla -1 trailer?
What, the Japanese one?
Oh, it looks borderline horror film. It looks fantastic.
No, I know, but there's one thing that's not in it. There's no Japanese guy going, "Oh no, Isagoya." I need that. I need that.
I just we can. I'm sure we can AI paste him into.
I need that. I need the guy going, "Godzilla." I'm running away.
Just.
It is not an authentic God. It is not an authentic Godzilla movie without that. You think I'm taking the piss, but in the original Japanese ones, there is always some guy going, "Oh no, Godzilla!" Still cracks me. The problem is, right? I think I've told you this before. There is a guy here who owns a beagle that has got an awful sense of humor because he's called the beagle freaking Godzilla. And every time it walks past, it's like, "Oh, Godzilla!" And I can't help it. I do it every time. It is. I can't control it. But joking aside, when I get over this, I have seen the trailer. It kind of does look good. I do want to see that actually. So yes, I have seen the trailer to it. It looks pretty bloody good. But no, you should watch Monarch. Come on, you've got to get Apple TV because it starts on Wednesday.
When Slow Horses on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay, cool. I will get it on Wednesday then. Have you watched Invincible on?
I watched most of season 1. I haven't got to season 2 yet on there. Is it any good?
It feels a bit Rick and Morty-esque in comparison to the first season. It has some downs, a few more downs than ups than I'd like, but it's still good. The last episode where Nolan catches up with what's his mush, Invincible's quite good. I enjoyed that. There was some funny ones in the previous episode, lots of sex jokes, which I found quite amusing. It's like, "Oh no, let's while they're doing that, let's go over here," and it's like, and then it's like, "Oh, they're having sex now. Let's go back over here. Oh, they're still." Anyway, let me tell you a story, and that was quite amusing. I enjoyed that. The reason they put that in there is because the end's quite grim, and then you've got the what do you call it? One of the characters, characters, because it's the same. It's the Mauler twins. Do you know about the Mauler twins, the clones, where they don't know which one's the clone. Well, they
I
do
know
something. They
where
set
it
something. Yeah.
I know where it goes and I know how it ends, but I think this ends in the 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 first season ended not all the way through the first volume of the comic. So
Mm.
where does it end at the end of this one?
S well, they've introduced the big bad
Spoilers.
guy.
Right.
They've introduced the big bad guy. I always I could describe him as Freddie Mercury because he's just easy to remember because he looks like Freddie Mercury when you see him in the comics. Um, so yeah, um, uh, that's interesting. That put a smile on my face. Just everything. Let's just
Well, look,
come on,
I
slow
mean,
horses. I kind of need you.
we've got some good TV to review. I generally am enjoying Monarch. For all mankind is like an old friend. Um, being back, you either love it or you hate it. I've quite enjoyed season 4. Third episode was a bit more interesting. Um, don't know where it's going. Usually by the third episode, you have a clear direction where this is going, and I don't know where this is going yet. But the third episode was interesting. There were some good moments in it. So Apple TV's got some good TV at the moment, and it's going to have even better TV as of Wednesday.
Mm.
So Wednesday is release day. So we've got something positive to talk about next week, even if we are not going to be potentially positive about. Who knows? It could be a lot better in the second episode.
I've been told it gets worse.
I don't know. I don't know how you can get worse than this.
Well, this wasn't worse. This was just average. Average with a dose of fucking modern day bullshit.
But it wasn't
Because
even
that's more
modern day
important than telling
bullshit, Gareth. It was clunky, badly written modern day bullshit. It was so clunky. It was so bad. There was too much of this positive affirmation shit in it, and it was so bad and so obvious what they were doing. There was nothing clever about it. It wasn't even particularly. It was dumb. That was the problem. I think somebody's eaten half of fucking Russell T Davis's brains, because this is far from any kind of level of his writing. Look, he's always been one that's written stuff like this. But even when you watched years and years, and there was a lot of political bullshit in that, it was still far cleverer than this. It was still written
and it's the
well.
sixth, and it's the 60th bit that gets me too.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can sort of finish
Mate,
off positive.
I'm still pissed. I
Yes,
didn't
I
watch
know.
it live. I watched it on my phone, and I was just like,
I
there's
I
some
got
bits in
up
it.
this. I watched it this morning on the iPad, and I came back and I thought I'm going to watch it again, just to make sure it's not just me. And I watched it again, and the second time round, Rose brings the doctor up for calling him a he. And it's like, really? You're going there? You're going there with two aliens talking about things. Did you just, gender classify him? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh yes,
What is your preferred pronoun?
the adult.
My preferred pronoun.
I just like to point out that was the cat version of Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, I know.
Just saying. These people who get offended over these things might secretly be some kind of totalitarian dictators underneath, or have the capability to be totalitarian dictators, and maybe that was slipped into the script intentionally or unintentionally, but that's how I read it. I'm going to go home and I'm going to go outside and set fire to myself out. Fuss, bloody stration. Can we end this now before I start yelling and screaming?
What, like I
Don't
did
make.
last week?
I'm just.
Slow horses. Slow horses. We have slow horses.
I have to wait till Wednesday. I have to wait till Wednesday.
I know. Go watch all of it's on the iPlayer, so you can go back. You can watch.
Do you know?
Era.
I just like to point out. I rewatched what's the best episode of Doctor Who, which is Heaven Sent.
Yeah.
It's the best episode of Doctor Who. Full stop. Blink is probably good contender for second. But Heaven Sent you can just pull out as a bit of science fiction on its own. Yeah,
Mm,
and it's
mm.
just absolutely brilliant. It's like the enemy's grief, which is like, well, we fought the Daleks. Why not fight grief? But just and it's like the bit right. So it's like I'm just thinking like kind of the remember the episode where Danny Payne, someone I used to work with, where Danny Pink dies, yeah. And they do it. They set it up in the most awful way. So he's like, kind of, he's on the phone. And then all of a sudden, she tells him he loves him. She hears a clattering noise, and then an old lady picks up the phone and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, he's been hit by a car." And then she tries to fuck over the doctor, and then the doctor turns around to her. She apologizes, whatnot. The doctor turns around and goes, "We're going to hell." He goes, "You're fine." He goes, "No, no, you didn't hear it. We're going to hell. We're gonna wherever dead people go, we're gonna find him." Yeah, and he does this great thing, and has this little warble in the voice, and it's just
Yeah,
what the fuck up? What the fuck is this? A cat? We had a cat as the enemy.
I
Did he
know.
have a litter box? Was there a litter box? Did anyone try feeding it catnip to try and stop it? A ball of wool. They could
But
have
it
used
was
a ball of wool
almost.
to stop it.
I mean, I was
The
never really a
sun
fan of
went
that
mad.
Danny Pink moment, but you're right. Going back and watching it again, it's still 10 times better than anything. Um, but I think Missy was genius,
Oh,
and
that's
she just got better and better. She just got better and better. I mean, she was so deliciously evil towards the end of it, and then even when she was on his side, she was still. And the bit where she meets herself again, her bouncing off what's his face again was brilliantly done.
mm,
Um, brilliantly done. Anyway, yes, look, that's a positive. If you're in the UK, all of it's on the iPlayer, except the very first 4 episodes, the Hartnell era, because they can't show those because of rights issues, apparently. But the Daleks is in color. First Daleks episode has been put into color and looks quite cool. So yes, and go and watch the real Genesis of the Daleks because that's still one of mine. I still love that from the Tom
yeah,
Baker
there's a
era.
speech where
Brilliant,
Davros is he's in the chair
brilliant.
and he says the thing about having a virus. Because would you release the virus? And Zavros says, "Yeah, I'll release the virus." And you're like, "Oh, this guy's fucking evil," and it's done so well. And it's I think it's one of Douglas Adams' finest bit of writing.
Mm-hmm.
But and on that
Yep.
note, on that sour note, I'm gonna go. I've had enough.
See you
Please,
next week,
love
guys.
God. Yeah, see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.